It was already over, and then somebody zoomed in on the courtroom number. That's when the whole thing flipped. Y'all, I wasn't even gonna touch this one tonight. I had a whole different video lined up. Then a subscriber dropped one comment in my section, and the floor caved in under this entire Jay-Z and Busby situation. One comment. One screenshot. And suddenly the smoke cleared and the mirrors cracked, and what's sitting underneath looks less like a courtroom and more like a setup. So pour something, lock your door, and let me show you what they were hoping nobody would notice until next year. Hey, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, I'm the one who reads between the lines so you don't have to squint. Hit that like, share it with somebody who still thinks justice is blind, and subscribe because what I'm about to lay down is gonna sound crazy until you check it for yourself. Everything in this video is alleged, opinion-based, entertainment, and education only. The fair use is parked in the description. Now buckle up. Let's start where the rabbit hole opens. The case. Tony Busby versus Jay-Z. The same Busby who walked into Diddy's life and pulled a whole season finale out of his briefcase. The same Busby who came correct with witness lists thick like a phone book. He went after Jay-Z too, and just like that, the case quietly slid out of Alabama, hopped a flight, and landed in New York. Same city as Diddy's trial. Same courthouse. Same air. Same energy. But that's not the part that made me sit up. A viewer, shout out to my real ones, Deshaun, you did the work, typed in the judge's information, and screenshot it. District Judge, the Honorable Andrew L. Carter Jr., Thurgood Marshall, United States Courthouse. 40, Foley Square. New York, 10007. And then, courtroom number. 444. Read that again. 444. Now if you've been around me longer than 5 minutes, you already know how I feel about coincidences in Jay-Z's life. There are none. This is the man whose entire brand is numerology, symbolism, 4-leaf logos, 4-letter names, for this and for that. The hat. The album. The streaming platform. The wife's alter ego. The kids' birth dates. Everything aligned, calculated, stamped. So you want me to believe, with a straight face, that out of every courtroom in the federal building, the universe just randomly handed Mr. Carter a case in room 444 in front of a judge whose last name is also Carter? Be serious. And before somebody runs in the comments, yes, I know there's no proven blood relation between Andrew L. Carter Jr. and Sean Corey Carter. I'm not saying cousin. I'm saying coincidence. 2 Carters. 1 courtroom. 444's on the door. In a building where Carter just walked out of the system untouched while Diddy walked in and didn't come back. Now let me hit you with something a little spicier. Somebody else, and again, this is alleged, this is internet whisper, this is gossip tier intel, left a comment claiming this judge is a Freemason. I cannot confirm that. I have not seen his apron, I have not seen his ring, I have not seen his handshake. But the whisper on the digital street is that within certain brotherhoods, a member does not lock another member up. Period. End of conversation. And if that lore has even a thumbprint of truth on it, ask yourself this very quiet, very dangerous question. Was this judge chosen, or was he assigned? Because nothing else is making sense anymore. Stay with me. Here's where the layers stack. In certain Eastern cultures, Japan, parts of China, Korea, the number 4 is so heavily associated with death that buildings literally skip it. No 4th floor. No room 4. No license plates. They call it the unlucky digit. The death digit. Now flip the page. Look at the people who allegedly study the opposite of light, the ones who collect symbols, sigils, and inversions like baseball cards. What do they gravitate to? The exact things other people avoid. The number that scares everybody else becomes their lucky charm. The day everyone avoids becomes their celebration. Read that twice. It explains a lot. And remember the man who appointed this judge? 44th President of the United States. 44. Barack Obama. Best friend of Mr. Carter. Vacation buddy. Vineyard regular. Library photo op partner. HOV was at the White House more than some cabinet members. So now we have a Carter being tried in courtroom 444 by a judge with the last name Carter, who was placed on the bench by the 44th president who happens to be Jay-Z's personal homie. And somebody told me to stop being funny. Sweetheart, I'm not laughing. Take a breath. Because I haven't even gotten to the good part yet. Let's talk about what's allegedly being whispered behind closed doors right now. Word on the street, and I mean the actual street, not Twitter, is that 2 scenarios are on the table for this trial. Scenario 1. Busby gets approached, gets handed a number with enough zeros to make a man forget his principles, and the whole case folds soft like origami. Jay-Z walks. Headlines for 2 days. Gone in 3. Scenario 2, and this is the one that's keeping me up, is the trap. They let Jay-Z think he's untouchable. They let his legal team get cocky. They let the room fill up with 444 energy. And then the floor drops. Something gets entered into evidence that nobody saw coming. A name. A receipt. A tape. And suddenly the safest courtroom in America turns into the loudest. Which version is real? I genuinely don't know yet. But I do know this. They don't build this much symbolism around a case they're not planning to use as a message. Question is, a message to who? Quick reset, if you're still with me, drop a 4 in the comments. Just a 4. I want to see how many of y'all caught what I just said. Now let's talk about Busby. Because I keep hearing people say, oh, he's gonna fold, he's gonna take the bag. I don't think you'll understand what they did to this man. They didn't just sue him back. They didn't just send legal threats. They went near his daughter. They approached his daughter. Allegedly. And I want you to sit with that for a second. You can come at a man's career, he'll outlawyer you. You can come at a man's reputation, he'll out-press release you. But you walk anywhere near his child? That's not a lawsuit anymore. That's personal. That's a man who now has something to prove that money cannot buy. So when people tell me Busby is gonna take a payday and disappear, I'm telling you, the math doesn't math. They poked the wrong bear. Then they went after his firm. They went after his ex-clients. Word is there were quiet little phone calls to people in his office that started friendly and ended weird. The kind of weird where you check the locks twice that night. This wasn't a defense. This was a campaign. And campaigns leave fingerprints. Let me hit you with a rehook, because I know your brain is overheating right now. Bookmark this question. If everything is already rigged, why bother running the playbook so loud? Why the 444? Why the same surname? Why the same courthouse as Diddy? You don't decorate a fixed fight unless you want the fix to be visible to the people who matter. That's not a courtroom. That's a flex. Okay, onto the part the algorithm is going to hate me for. Let's talk about the women. Because every time we get close to a Carter conversation, the women in his life start showing up in patterns that nobody can quite explain. The first alleged baby mama? Word on the street, and again, this is whisper, this is rumor, this is gossip grade, do your own homework, but the whisper is she had a disability. Not a small one. The kind that shapes a person's whole life. The whisper goes further and says that's not a one-time situation. That a certain preference, let's call it that politely, runs through more than one chapter of his alleged history. I'm not gonna sit here and present that as fact. I wasn't there. I didn't see paperwork. But when I tell you the same theory has been floating in 4 different comment sections from 4 different cities, there's smoke somewhere. Then the timing. 2 alleged baby mothers. Both of them no longer here. Outside of the wife, every woman publicly connected to a child with this man has reportedly passed on. 2. And we still don't have a DNA test on the daughter who's been spotted, photographed, and allegedly housed quietly. The young woman who said, yes, that's my father 1 week and went radio silent the next. The one Rymir said he reached out to for an ancestry test that never produced a result. She went dark. Just like that. House appears. Conversations disappear. That's not a pattern you want repeating around your name. And here's where I'm gonna get in trouble, the wife. Fiancé. There's a corner of the internet that's been quietly insisting for years that the surrogacy story isn't a story, it's a cover. The pillow. The rented hospital floor. The strange staging of the second pregnancy. Her own mother's book that hinted at some learning difficulties in the household. Sasha Fierce, the alter ego with the same name as Obama's daughter, who reportedly isn't close with her father. And those Obama daughters, let's not act like that household is the picket fence we were sold. One reportedly wants the name change. The other reportedly leaned in a direction nobody saw coming. There's something in that water, and we're all just sipping it slowly. I'm not saying any of this is fact. I'm saying when the same names, the same numbers, and the same patterns keep circling, the universe isn't being subtle. Let's pull the camera back. You've got a billionaire defendant. A judge appointed by his best friend. A courtroom numbered 444. A plaintiff's attorney whose family was reportedly approached. A trial moved out of one state into the exact courthouse where another famous defendant just got railroaded. And a year-long runway between now and the actual trial date. A year. 365 days. Plenty of time for memories to fade. For witnesses to relocate. For deals to be drafted. For things to happen that we'll only read about in past tense. And history is screaming at us right now. Because in the Diddy situation, and I'll say allegedly, but you and I both know, there were whispers that the jury wasn't sealed. That conversations happened in places they shouldn't have. That certain envelopes changed hands. If that worked once, what's stopping it from working again? Same city, same kind of money, same kind of network, same brotherhood whispers in the background. So Busby has a choice. Either he applies to change judges immediately, and that motion alone will tell us everything we need to know about whether he's still in this fight, or he stays seated in courtroom 444, smiles politely at Judge Carter, and hopes the symbolism is just decor. I don't think a man whose daughter got approached is gonna sit politely. But I've been wrong before. Reset. Drop a "still here" in the comments if you're rocking with me. Let me know the algorithm hasn't buried this one yet. Now the part that has me genuinely worried. Jane Doe. The actual plaintiff. The woman whose name is on this case. Has anybody asked the obvious question, is she safe? Because the moment that trial date got locked, she became the most inconvenient person in 3 zip codes. And inconvenient people in stories like this have a habit of becoming background noise. Slipping, falling, getting into accidents, disappearing from their own headlines. I'm not saying anything is coming. I'm saying somebody better have eyes on her 24/7 between now and the court date, because the energy around this case is not normal. And the witnesses, let's not even pretend. In the Diddy case, more than one person on the witness list reportedly didn't make it to the stand. Not because they changed their mind. Because they're not here anymore. And the response from the system was a shrug. Just a shrug. Bodies pile up and nobody investigates the pile. That's the world we're in. So if you're a witness in the Busby versus Carter file right now, please, for the love of everything, get private security, get a second phone, vary your routine, and do not get into anybody's car you didn't book yourself. I know that sounds dramatic. It is dramatic. But this whole thing is dramatic. The numerology is dramatic. The matching last names are dramatic. The Obama connection is dramatic. The Busby daughter situation is dramatic. The disappearing baby mamas are dramatic. The disabled women whisper is dramatic. The surrogate rumors are dramatic. Every single layer of this onion is dramatic, and we still haven't peeled past the second skin. Rehook. Because I know your attention is being yanked in 12 directions by your phone right now. Let me bring you back. Remember what you came here for. You came here because something didn't sit right with you about this case. You felt it before I said it. The hair on the back of your neck went up the moment you heard Courtroom 444. Trust that instinct. Your gut is smarter than the headlines. Now let me hit you with the freshest layer, the part that's barely 48 hours old. Quiet conversations are starting to swirl that Jay-Z's legal team is preparing a motion to push the trial date out even further. Not just to next year. Further. The strategy reportedly being floated is delay until fatigue. Delay until the public forgets. Delay until the algorithm moves on. Delay until Busby gets tired or distracted, or, and this is the part nobody wants to say out loud, until something happens to the people the case relies on. That's not justice. That's chess. And in chess, you don't beat your opponent. You exhaust him. There's also a fresh whisper that a second potential plaintiff has been quietly approached. Not on the docket. Not in the press. But approached. By Busby's people. And if that second plaintiff actually files, the entire dynamic of this case shifts overnight. One accuser is a story. 2 accusers is a pattern. And patterns don't get dismissed in 444, patterns get headlines. So if you see new paperwork drop in the next 30 to 60 days, remember you heard the whisper here first. And here is the layer that's gonna make your eye twitch: the museum, the library, the Brooklyn Shrine, the one with the so-called scripture wall that's actually his lyrics. The one with the black cube, yes, that black cube, the one tied to Saturn, the one tied to ritual, the one tied to a system of belief most people don't even know they're staring at. That structure is in the same city as the courthouse, the same New York. So while a Carter is being tried in 444, another Carter is being worshipped a few subway stops away in a building dressed up like a temple. Tell me that's a coincidence and I'll sell you a bridge. Now the alleged music thing. Because some of y'all are new. Half the catalog this man is credited on has reportedly been pulled, borrowed, lifted, or quietly absorbed from somebody who couldn't fight back. Biggie versus ghostwriters whose pens never got the credit. Producers whose beats were inspired. The list is long, it's loud, and it's documented in whispers from people who used to be in the room. And yet museum. Statue energy. Hall of Fame treatment. while the people he allegedly borrowed from are either underground, broke, or 6 feet down. This is the empire Busby is walking into. This is the wall he's trying to crack. Let me give you the betting line as I see it tonight. If Busby files for a judge recusal within the next 2 weeks, game on. He still believes there's a path. If he stays silent on the judge and quietly pivots to settlement talks, it's over before it started, and the 444 was just decoration. If a body drops, a witness flips, or Jane Doe goes quiet, we are watching the same movie we watched with Diddy, just remastered. And if a second accuser files, then 444 stops being a flex and starts being a tombstone. Either way, mark this video. Bookmark this one. Come back to me in 90 days and tell me which version played out. Because I'm telling you right now, with my chest on this microphone, this case is not going to court like a regular case. This case is being walked to the altar like a ritual. And the people setting up the candles think we can't see them. We see them. Final thought. And I want you to actually sit with this one. The reason they keep telling us in plain sight isn't because they're sloppy. It's because telling us is part of the rule. They are required under whatever framework they operate inside of to leave the breadcrumbs. The numbers. The names. The dates. The locations. The symbols. They have to give us the puzzle. The catch is they bet on us being too busy, too tired, too distracted, too divided to ever put the pieces together. And for the longest time, they were right. We didn't put it together. We argued about lyrics while they built empires. But the internet changed everybody's eyesight. And tonight, in this video, on this channel, with you sitting wherever you're sitting right now, we put another piece on the board. 444, Carter. Obama. New York. Brooklyn. Black Cube. Busby. Daughter. 2 baby mothers. 1 alleged disabled history. 1 surrogacy whisper. 1 missing DNA test. 1 museum that worships a man who allegedly borrowed half his catalog. 1 trial. 1 year to go. Look at the board. Look at it. Now tell me this is a coincidence. I'll wait. If this video opened your eyes even 1 click wider, do me a favor, like it, share it with 1 person who still thinks Jay-Z is just a businessman, drop your theory in the comments, and subscribe so you don't miss the next piece of this puzzle. Because the next piece is already in motion. I can feel it. And when it drops, you're gonna want to be sitting right here with me when it does. Stay safe out there. Watch the company you keep. And remember, if it lines up too perfectly, it wasn't an accident. It was an assignment. Peace.